I've always believed that it's possible to divide musical performers into two categories. Those who seek to exploit the instrument they use, and those who do not. In the first category, if we believe the history books, one can find a place for such legendary characters as Liszt and Paganini, as well as any number of allegedly demonic virtuosi of more recent vintage. That category belongs essentially to musicians who are determined to make us aware of their relationship with their instrument, whatever it happens to be. They allow that relationship to become the focus of attention. The second category, on the other hand, includes musicians who try to bypass the whole question of performing mechanism, to create the illusion, at any rate, of a direct link between themselves and a particular musical score, and therefore help the listener to achieve a sense of involvement, not with the performance per se, but rather with the music itself. And I think that in our time, there is no better example of that second kind of musician than Sviatoslav Richter. What Sviatoslav Richter does, in fact, is insert between the listener and the composer his own enormously powerful personality as a kind of conduit. And as he does this, we gain the impression that we're discovering the work anew, and very often from a quite different perspective than that to which we're accustomed.
Шуберт, соната Г-дур, запись Болонья. Это моя любимая шубертовская соната. А в моей этой записи не произвела на меня никакого впечатления. Все. Я играл Шуберта, все начал играть. Я же первый начал играть. Да, никто не играл даже. Старое поколение профессоров говорили, ну почему вы играете Шуберта? Так скучно. Шумана надо играть. Ну, что многие говорили, что он с ума сошел. Я не играю для публики. Я для себя играю. И если я получаю удовольствие, и мне нравится, как играть, тогда и публика довольна. Я хотел играть хорошую музыку, и все. Шуберт все-таки. Есть Шуберт, а не то, что пишет Gould.
The first time I heard him play was at the Moscow Conservatory in May 1957. And he opened his program with the last of Schubert's sonatas, Sonata in B-flat major. It's a very long sonata, one of the longest ever written, in fact, and Richter played it at what I believe to be the slowest tempo I've ever heard, thereby making it a good deal longer, needless to say. I think at this point it's appropriate to confess two things. The first is that, heretical though it may be, I'm not really addicted to most of Schubert's music. I find myself usually unable to come to terms with the repetitive structures involved, and I find that I get very restless and squirm a great deal when I have to sit through one of the longer Schubert essays. Well, what happened, in fact, was that for the next hour, I was in a state that I can only compare to a hypnotic trance.
Только в моем исполнении ему что-то там понравилось. Так это он про меня пишет, а про Шуберта, я не знаю, изменил ли он мнение или нет.
All of my prejudices about Schubert's repetitive structures were forgotten. Musical details which I had previously considered to be ornamental were given the appearance of organic elements. In fact, I can remember many of those details to this day. And it seemed to me that I was witnessing a union of two supposedly irreconcilable qualities, intense analytical calculation revealed through a spontaneity equivalent to improvisation. And I realized at that moment, as I have on many subsequent occasions while listening to Richter's recordings, that I was in the presence of one of the most powerful communicators the world of music has produced in our time.